Welcome in. It is day 249 and you're speaking to the Meeples Champion. And today we're going to be going over a small tile placement game that I picked up about 6 months ago when I was just out at a board game store looking for something new to get, and it grabbed my eye. It is a game that is not too difficult, and I pulled it to the table again today, re-ran through it just to prep myself for this video. The game is called Professor Treasure's Secret Sky Castle. Now the idea is that you basically have a two-player game, red versus blue, and you're going to have a bunch of different cards in this grouping, 1 through 7 plus a bonus card. You're going to shuffle it up, and you're going to get 6 of them, separated into 2 piles of 3. The other cards discarded. Then your opponent does the same, and you'll have somebody be given the starting player number. Now, you're going to put a grid of 4 by 3 out, and your concept is you're playing 3 rounds, and you are trying to, one by one, place people out onto the board. And then once you've both placed, so you start with your first 3, then they do 3. Then you do another group of 3, then they do another group of 3. All 12 rolls are out there. Now, starting at 1 with the start player, so let's go with red being start, you will go to them and resolve them. You'll have ones that will say they just take the thing underneath them. You'll have ones that give you the ability to take something around it, to flip with somebody else's, to steal from someone. You have a bunch of abilities, and you're going to always be going back and forth here. If you're sharing a space with somebody with the same number, whoever has the start player, they'll be priority and get to go first. And you're going to run through collecting keys, using keys to help unlock certain chests, which will then allow you to grab the chest, and that's worth points. And then at the end of the round, all of your people are returned. All of the keys and chests you have taken are with you. The keys will have flipped face down. If you use them, they'll flip back face up and be usable again in round 2. The chests are your points. Anything that wasn't touched on the grid is remaining, and now you fill the grid back in, and you play a second round and flip who the start player is. And then you do a third round, and then you count up your total points and see who wins. Now, there are skeleton keys, which are more powerful. However, they're negative points. So when you get to the point where it's time to start judging who is going to get what for points, you add up all of your cases, and then you have to go and minus off your skeleton keys, which is going to hurt your final score. So they're really good to get, but you want to get them early, because getting them in the last round may not be worth it for the negative it's getting you. Well, why don't we jump in? Let's talk our 7 categories and see where this game lands for us. When it comes to the art, I really liked the box. It kind of reminded me of Castle in the Sky, the anime film, if anybody's watched it before. It's a Miyazaki film that I was a big fan of. Obviously not the same property by any means, not really the same art. It just, the name of the game, the visual on the front kind of grabbed my interest. And when I opened it up and I put it out, it was a nice art inside as well. I don't think it's anything spectacular, but it's definitely good for what it is. It's a small game with a nice art. Thumbs up. When it comes to your components, primarily you got the tiles, which is a nice large cardboard tile. You also have your cards, which are going to be dealt around, and those are all in good condition as well. I don't think that this is anything spectacular yet again. It's a good component, but it's such a small game. They definitely just put enough in to make sure these were going to be, good. They weren't going to easily wear, tear, fall apart, but they're not an amazing quality. It's just a good quality. So I'll give it a passing thumbs up. The price, I mean, that's where I'm going to jump right back to that quality of your component, because that's their downgrade to not get the top quality is shown in the price, because it's only a $15 game. It's a cheap game. I picked this up because it kind of grabbed my interest and it was so cheap. I was like, well, I might as well. And I think for what you're getting in this, for a little 2-player game, it's a great price. Thumbs up. Your difficulty. It's not very difficult. I think that this is perfect for beginners. I think that experienced players can enjoy it, especially if you're a 2-player specific experienced player. Experts, no, they're out. And kids, for 2-player, this is actually great. If you play with your parent, then a parent can have this as a nice little 2-player intro. It's not too difficult. But I think at 10 years old, you can start playing this with your friends. I don't think this is difficult to sit down with, so thumbs up. Replayability. Doesn't take long. It might be 30 minutes at most. This could be a 20-minute game. This goes pretty fast. I think that you're getting a good game here, and I think that for the game that you're getting, you definitely have the ability to put this out and play it a few times in an hour. And this is a great weekend, or, if you're a kid at school, because I think this is actually a really great one for kids, bring it with you, play during lunch, or if you've got a friend at work that likes to play and you're an adult who's playing, bring it to work, play it during your lunch break. It's not a big setup. It's not a big game. It's not long. It's perfect for replayability. Thumbs up. Keys to victory. The keys to victory is simply the puzzle of how are you placing these out. What did your opponent do with their first group of 3? Why are you going to respond by putting your 3 where they're going? You have to be able to really judge, because it's not like you have to pre-pick. You have your 2 sets of 3. And when your opponent does the first round, you can pick which one you're going to respond with. You might see that you have a good counter, but you might hold out because you don't know what their second 3 is. So it's, to me, I think that you've got keys there all based on the order of people coming out, the randomness of what group you have. I see it. I enjoy it. Thumbs up. Unique. Is this game unique? I don't think so. And it's not that I can think of the top of my head of a game that's exactly comparable to this. But for a 2-player game with a random grid assignment and to just be placing out back and forth cards, there's a lot of big games that have aspects of this. The grid is nothing new, and the ability of having to place out people versus each other actually kind of reminds me of the game Stratego. Who's who for the numbers facing each other. There's so many games based on a numerical value being assigned to your characters and that deciding who wins in fights or has control of a spot. There may not be a straight up comparison to this that I can think of, but I'm sure there is some that will be very compared. But for me, when I look at it, I don't pull it out a lot myself in my size collection because I don't feel that this one's the priority at what it does. There are other games that I'd rather play, and this one falls behind because it's not that unique that it stands out. And unique doesn't mean that you have to just be the only of your type. Unique can also mean you want to play it because you feel like you're getting a fun, genuine experience. I don't think this is not fun. I just don't feel it's genuinely stands out from the group of, like, I could play so many other 2 players. I'll pick Azul. I'll pick Sagrada. I'll pick Battle Lore, 2nd edition. There's so many good 2-player games. Never mind games that can play at 2-player that have bigger counts. It just doesn't feel unique to me. Thumbs down. Overall, what do I think? It's a nice little game. For its price, I think it's worth taking a shot. You can buy it if you're looking for yourself and take a shot. If it doesn't hit, give it to a friend, give it to a kid, give it to, the random Savers store to let somebody end up getting it. Or pick it up for your kid or your niece or your nephew or somebody that that was looking for a little 2-player game. It's not so much money that you can't take a shot on giving them something they may enjoy. And again, if they don't, it's not a big deal. Well, it has been day 249. We've been speaking about the game Professor Treasure's Secret Sky Castle. And you've been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Like, share, subscribe, and check down below in the description. I'll be adding an Amazon link in case you want to get this game for your collection. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.